Well, Phoenix worked for me just out of the box. I'll show you what I did so we're all on the same page. I'll start off by resetting the model memory in my SD-10G, so we're at a known state. And then I'll set modulation to ppm 8. And that's about it for the radio for now. I'll plug in the Phoenix USB cable. So I don't think they've made any changes, but I have this little black box and then a USB connector and headphone connector, and I think they're all the same. Plug in the USB cable. You then have a headphone connector on the other end. Plug it into the Airtronics Flight Sim adapter, and then plug that into the SD-10G. And if you've already tried to run Phoenix, it probably has settings that might be wrong, so we can delete those settings. On Windows 7, they'll be in my documents. So I'll go to my documents, and I have a folder called Phoenix RC. If you have that, delete it, which is what I will do. And now it'll be like a fresh install. It will ask you everything all over again. So start up Phoenix. It'll ask you the language, and I'll pick English. And then there's the whole walkthrough of setting everything up. And it seemed to have everything in their default positions. And that's all a personal preference. I like all my toggle switches up and to the back, but it's a personal preference. So I will have all my toggle switches up and to the back. And I'll click next. And it wants me to center the sticks, so I will try to get that in the frame. Centered. And click next. And then it says to move the sticks to their limits. So I can't really get this in the frame very well. and so you can kind of see that react accordingly. And the other channels are moving a little bit, which is fine, don't worry about that. We'll click next. And then it wants me to move the switches, so we'll move all the switches. And I'll move the dials and knobs as well. And then I'll click next. And it says calibration is complete, so I'll click finish. And let me zoom in, I guess. And I'll click next, and it doesn't list the SD-10G, so I will double click on my transmitter. It's not listed here, and then I'll go to next, and we kind of have to go through the process again, so I'll click next. I'll give it a name, Airtronics SD-10G. Quick setup is fine. Next. Center the sticks. And we'll go to next. And then it wants me to move the throttle stick. So I do that, and it recognizes channel 3 as throttle. And then next. And move the collective stick. I have it in an airplane model memory, so there is no collective, but I'll move the throttle stick anyway. And it'll think channel 3 is collective as well. And then again, rudder, you move the rudder stick, and it will recognize channel 4 as rudder. Same for elevator. Channel 1. Aileron. It's channel 2. Retract is whatever you assigned it to. I happen to randomly pick 4, 5, 6, which may not be ideal, but that happens to be channel 5. And then flaps. And I again randomly picked 22, 23, 24, which happens to be channel 8. And we're finished. So you click finish, and then you click finish again, and you can pick a graphics quality. I'm going to pick highest, but that shouldn't have an effect one way or the other. I'll go with metric, and I'll click finish. And the model takes off right away, even though I have throttle at low, because the servo directions are wrong, according to Phoenix. So if you try to fly, you'll realize that throttle is reversed, elevator is reversed, aileron is reversed, and so is rudder. So I'll have to reverse the direction in the SD-10G for all 4 channels. And so you go to the surface menu in the radio, and you change the directions to REV for elevator, aileron, throttle, and rudder. And now it should work the way you would expect. So we'll start over, and I will very poorly attempt to fly this biplane. And let's make a horrible landing. If I don't crash first. Yeah, not on the runway. But anyway, so it seems to work for me. I hope this helped. good luck.